So we're just gonna go live right away. Um, I hope everybody's doing good. We were supposed to have Sins here with us, but I think that we lost him somewhere. I think that maybe he forgot, or I don't know where he's at. I was really hoping that he was gonna be here. But hey, we're gonna go on with our scheduled live stream, and I'm really excited today because it's Friday the 13th and we have Trev as our guest, and I've been wanting to have Trev on the Block show for like a while now, so I'm really excited. He's a really cool artist, really good animator, and also my co-host is Ira, and she is
Yo
hiding from
guys,
us
hi
tonight.
everyone. Hi.
Hey Trev, I'm just going to kind of let you introduce yourself to maybe the people who don't know who you are.
Yeah, okay, cool. Also, I think Sins is avoiding me. I'm going to catch up with you, mate. I'll find you. Uh, yeah, so I'm Trev Alviz. I am an artist and animator, and I've had the fortune of being a full time creative for about 10 years now. That's through commercial, freelance illustration, and gallery work. And in 2021, I entered Web3. I discovered Solana. I was blown away by the technology and the possibilities. And I've been working in Solana ever since. That's pretty much me. Um, just artist and animator, just trying to find my way, trying to pay my bills and, not die.
Yeah, I understand that. I wanted to ask you, why did you choose Solana? Like, what made you want to go to Solana compared to like maybe ETH or like any other chain?
To be honest with you, when I first got, like, I was first introduced to Web3 and NFTs and crypto during the pandemic. I was living in Berlin, and I had some people reach out to me because they were looking for an illustrator, and they asked me, "Do you know anything about Web3?" And I didn't, so they taught me all about PFP projects, generative projects, because they wanted me to create some assets for them. And I did that, and that was all on ETH. There was a project called Wicked Cranium. I think they were, pretty big back in the day on ETH, and it opened up my eyes to Web3. I was like, oh, this is really interesting. There's a lot of like cool ways to, you know, bring your art to people. There's a lot of cool intersection between art and technology, and it was actually a friend of mine, Scotty Russell. I was talking to him, and he suggested, "Hey, you should check out Solana. It's like Eat, but it's a much smaller chain, and there's a lot more cool stuff going on there." And I also found a meetup happening in Berlin, which they eventually became Super Team Berlin, Super Team Germany. But at the time, they were just a small group of people, and I met up with them, and I was like, "Hey, I'm interested in Web3," and they were talking about Solana as well. So that just got me all hyped about Solana, and I kind of liked it. I felt really punk rock because at the time, ETH was already blown up, and you already had all these major artists on ETH, and I just felt it was something just really kind of cool and kind of like subculture about Solana. Like nobody was talking about it, and it was also a lot more efficient and faster.
Mm,
So I figured that if this is ever going to become mainstream, it's probably going to be a blockchain like Solana and
mm.
not ETH. So that's why I decided to mess around with Solana, and then I just made so many friends, it made it hard to ever leave again.
That's really cool. The thing about Solana, and I've been saying this like on a lot of occasions, is like I wasn't aware of like Solana until basically the end of last year when I kind of started being more interested in the Nuco community.
Hmm.
And then they all of them were so into art, and there was also so many artists in the community that I was surprised because I always thought that Solana was the degen chain. I thought,
Mm.
okay, well, like there's like other chains. Like I know, like some of my favorite art is like on Tezos, and like I've always been into ETH, and I always just kind of like had this prejudice and like this assumption that Solana was just about like the degens. But then I discovered that there was like some insane artists and some really really cool art on there,
Yeah.
and I just couldn't believe it. And like there, I felt like more of the collector community and like a collector vibe of like people that were gathered on Solana more than I felt it on ETH, and it just really blew my mind. I just couldn't believe it.
Mm. Do you know what, like, what really, was kind of like what blew my mind about Solana was that in the early days, the blockchain would go down, like it would go down completely. And when you hear about that, like if a blockchain goes down even once, it's finished.
Yeah.
But Solana would go down, and then people would still rally behind it. And after, I remember like Lisbon in 2022 for Solana Breakpoint, where we had the FTX scandal, and Solana hit like $8, and people still rallied behind it. And I just felt like that, isn't it crazy that any other blockchain, if it just crashes, people walk away, but there's something about this, like we have such a love for this blockchain, and we have such a love for this thing that is Solana, that we're willing to like watch it crash in front of our eyes and still be like, no, we're not leaving, this
Right.
is our place, and I think that it just got very close knit. And and I understand. I feel like, to me, and I'm not very technically minded, I'm just a dumbass artist, but I always felt like Solana made the technology so easy and so accessible that people were then able to create meme coins on it, and then it became just known as like the crime
Mm,
chain or the degen chain, because the technology was just so good as well.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I get that, but yeah, I've always felt like there's always been something special about it. That's what I felt. And again, I've never experienced ETH. I've never experienced other blockchains. I've never really needed to, because Solana has always just been my home. But I'm sure they all have their. And I've heard people talk very fondly about Tezos as well, and I've heard a lot of great things about it. But I think that, like, for me, Solana's just always kind of felt really special. And
Yeah.
I think when you see stuff like the crashes happen and people not give up on Solana, it shows you that it's not just about profit. It's not just about what you can extract from it. That, like, people do care about it. But there's a lot of bullshit on the surface level that you have to get through to get to the communities that are legit.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just I don't know. It's always been so surprising, and like I've actually like found like artists like you and some other like really cool artists on Solana, and it was just such a cool experience. For me, I wanted to ask Ira. Ira, do you own anything on Solana? Or you just are you like an ETH maxi like I used to be like? Are you all of your stuff is on ETH or?
Absolutely, ETH Maxi. And yeah, Solana for me was something, I don't know, only for degens who, like, into meme coins. They're always rude. They always, trying to do something, and yeah, not thinking about art or something like that. And I liked the ETH community much more because they are more calm. They're like more thoughtful. How was thoughts like about them as well. So yeah, I'm ETH Maxi. I had some experience with Solana, but it always like end up at such rags for me, to be honest. So I would like to have like other experience, but I didn't have.
I am like a little distracted at the moment because we're live on Blaze and we're live on X. And I wanted to tell everybody, if you're watching on us on X, you can always come watch us on Blaze as well. I've been streaming on there and it's been like really fun. I actually wanted to try to like get Trev to come start streaming on Blaze. I will. It's like, and then whenever we're off the stream, Trev, if you're interested, I'll tell you more about the platform. But it's like really cool, and I've been streaming on there for like 2 weeks now, and I've just been having a blast. And there's like such a mixture of different people. Some people play games. There's a lot of artists that draw. So it's like if you come and you start streaming on there, I think that people would love you because your art is like so good, and like a lot of people on there love art.
Oh.
I don't know. Do you ever do like art streams?
Well, first of all, thank you. That's very kind of you. But yeah, I've never heard of Blaze before. But again, as I say, I'm pretty much a boomer. But yeah, I have done streams in the past, and I always keep saying I want to do more live streaming, but then I kind of like get really really lazy about it. But I would love to. I would love to stream. I think what scares me is like I don't like drawn when I have to like draw art, whatever, and somebody's looking over my shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
I lose the ability to draw. And I'm like, stop looking at me. So like, I always get freaked out by like live streaming where I'm like, okay, there's like so many people watching me, and I can't draw a straight line anymore, and I'm just like freaking out. But I just need to get over that. But yeah, I really do want to live stream. Yeah,
Oh,
I do.
I
I
would
think
love
it's so much
that.
fun.
And okay, the cool thing about Blaze is that it's like, okay, you've never heard of it because it's just like 2 months old. It's like a really, really new platform. And so there's not so many people that get, well, okay, you're going to get people that watch you, but there's not like an overwhelming amount, so it feels
Mhm.
very comfortable. And I feel
Yeah,
like it would maybe help you to get over this anxiety that you have about streaming if it's like a
yeah,
more like a little bit more closed like circle of people watching you.
yeah. Because
But
the
it would
great
be
thing
so
about
cool.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
sorry. Yeah, because I was gonna say the great thing about like making YouTube videos and
Mhm.
making content is that you can like have like a billion takes and mess up
Mhm.
and then just cut out all the crap so you just like look really professional. But when you're live streaming, you just like start just coming out with like random weird shit. And yeah, as well, it's because when I'm drawing and if I'm trying to illustrate something and it's not going correctly, I just start like shouting abuse at my iPad. So I'm also like, nobody needs to see that, you know.
Right.
But yeah, but I do like the idea of like small platforms like Blaze because sometimes
Mhm.
I think if you go onto like a Twitch or a Kick or a YouTube, it's like
Yeah.
it's just so big and like smaller places are just more discoverable, you know.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And the thing about it is that like right now they have like creator incentives. So like if you go on there and you're like streaming consistently and people come watch you, you can actually make like a little bit of money, which is nice. And I don't know. I've just been really enjoying it. It's also like super easy to use. But yeah, I was just like, man, I'd love to like watch a art stream by Trev. That would be like so cool. But it's like no pressure.
Mhm. Well, see, be careful what you wish for because you know, 'cause if I do, you're like, this is not cool whatsoever. Like, you know, just this guy cursing at his iPad for like 40 minutes. You know,
I feel like that would actually kind of be funny.
I'll do it. I mean, I'll probably get demonetized straight away. But
But I also wanted to ask you. So, I wanted to talk about the VHS tapes. Okay, do you have like can you show us a VHS tape, or like do you have
right
them
now,
put away
yeah, I've
some?
got like
Yeah, show us the VHS tapes.
I've got like all the first four right
Oh,
here.
that's really cool.
This is
So
insane, so dope.
Right, Ira? I knew you
The
were gonna like
idea is
it.
amazing. The idea is amazing. Yeah, just
this is
amazing.
like the latest one. And I've got like it's the got a full print on the actual VHS tape as well.
Mhm.
Uh, so yeah, the project is called Atomic Trash Video Rentals because, like I keep saying, I'm a boomer. I'm actually a millennial. I was born in the '80s. I grew up in the '90s, and as a teenager, I worked in a video rental store. That was my first job, and you know, I grew up just loving movies. I grew up in a pretty working class suburb, so my exposure to art wasn't art galleries, it wasn't fine art. My exposure was comic books, cartoons, and movies. And that's very much informed the kind of art that I make. I'm very much inspired by pop culture and just the culture around us. And something that yeah, I've always wanted to do was, you know, make animation. I've always wanted to be a filmmaker as well. I studied film for 2.5 years in college as well. I went to film school and I eventually became an illustrator, but I always wanted to find a way to put it all together. And I figured that, okay, what do I want to do? Right. There was like a point in around 2023 when I like said, okay, what is my main goal? What do I want everything to build towards? And that was, I want to create my own animated IP. I want to create my own animated show, something that could, you know, be on Adult Swim or maybe just, you know, be completely independent. But that's a big goal, right? That's a very big dream to have. So I just reverse engineered it all the way back to what I'm doing right now. And that is well, I'm creating atomic trash. I like the idea of creating fictional movies. Because I'm very inspired by like B movie culture, you know, low budget movies, horror movies, basically movies that like had more heart than they had budget, you know? And what I do is I've created 10 fictional movies and I periodically release them as physical VHS tapes. So you can pick one up and you can put it on your shelf. And if your friends come over, they're like, oh, hey, you've got a VHS. And I want them to feel like almost like they're real movies. And you know, but they're art objects. But the idea is once I finish all 10, then I want to start animating them and I want to start creating animated trailers and animated scenes from these movies. And so we're slowly building the universe. So it starts as fictional movies that don't exist, but they will all eventually exist, but we're just doing it backwards, you know?
Yeah. That's really cool. That's a cool idea. And so you from each tape, there's like 13 editions, and so does every edition come with a actual tape?
Yes. So we're on every edition comes with a physical VHS tape. So the first two editions had 10 editions. This latest one has 13 in honor of Friday the 13th. But I've been keeping the editions very, very small because they are, you know, they cost over 100 USD to buy one. It's like $120 for an edition, which is premium, especially in this market. So I keep the editions very small, and I figured that like if you're into what I'm doing, if you get what I'm trying to build, if you pick up an edition, uh, I'll add you to my group chat, and you actually kind of become a producer. You become part of the process because then I want your input in how we develop the movies. Like I don't know what the next edition is because I have a checklist card here that I released, and it has all 10 movies listed on it. And you can see the first three are marked off. And I get my collectors to vote. Tell me which one you want to see made next. And then
Oh,
that's the
okay, that's
next
cool.
VHS I produce. And when we get all 10 done, we start making animated shorts based on each movie, whether that's a scene from the movie or a trailer from the movie. And the idea is to keep building towards an animated show. Um,
That's really cool.
and it would I'm basically just essentially I'm just building it in public, right? And I'm getting everyone to come along with me. And I'm like, right now we just create the physicals, and I want to try and give value to people. So even so, if you pick up an edition, you get an NFT, you get an animated NFT of the VHS, but you also get the physical. So you are getting something straight away. And I try and make the physicals to be, you know, collectory. So for example, as well, this is like the last one called Buck Hunt at Outpost 31, which is a homage to B movie monsters. And if you open this has also got a VHS tape that's got custom artwork. It's all blood splattered over it. So I create them in a way that you can put them on your shelf and they can look like art objects. Um, but when we eventually get to creating the animations, I want to create value for people. And they're like, oh man, I was collecting those when they were VHS tapes. And eventually in season two, I want to put the animations on the VHS tape. So when you get the edition, you go find yourself a VCR player and you put it in, and there's going to be extra animations that will be nowhere on the internet. They'll just be for the people who collect the tapes as well.
That's actually
So
so cool.
yeah, I mean, listen, it's when it comes to like a business, it's absolutely the worst way to ever make profit or money. But that's kind of not the point because I firmly believe in if you try and chase money, money just runs faster away from you. Whereas if you just try and create the stuff you want to see in the world, you know, all the finance will come naturally. And right now, I'm just trying to create something really, really cool using Solana and using blockchain as the mode of distribution. And hopefully, I can find enough weirdos and enough people that are nostalgic for video stores or interested in VHS tapes that they get on board with it. and become part of it, because it's only going to get bigger, and we're going to keep growing it, but we're doing it really, really steady. So I'm not like, be like, well, we're going to make profit right now. It's like, no, no, we're come along if you want to be a part of building something, and have your voice heard, because, like, for example, if you picked up a tape, you're in my group chat, you get a vote on what comes next, but you also get an input when we come around to making the animations. I'm like, well, what do you think? Here's like your survey form, fill it out. What do you think we should do? And I listen to everyone, because that's how you make good art, right? When the community is able to collaborate with you. So I just want to see, can I build this with a core community of people? And it's exciting, and it's a long road, but I'm hoping that enough people can believe in it at this stage that they jump on board and help support it.
Oh, I wish, yeah, and it's like at some point I'm gonna get one of these tapes. Like, I just have to make some money.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? The cool thing is that the more tapes I make, the more it becomes easier to understand. And then the more
Mm-hmm.
people are like, okay, now I get it. Now I want to grab a tape.
Mm-hmm.
So it is fun. The
Oh,
more I
they're
do
so
it.
cool.
Yeah.
What's
So
the
I'm
price
excited about it.
of your NFT and of your tape, and how it look like? How you purchasing the tape, and yeah, maybe we can show something like screen share how the process going, and yeah,
Let me pull
how
up
it's going.
Mallow. I'll pull
Yeah.
up Mallow while like because like I think Trev said that it was like 100 and like about 120 USD dollars right
Yeah.
now. And let
Unless
me pull up the
Solana has
website.
taken a nosedive or has shot up.
um and yeah, we do have some people on Blaze watching us now, which is really cool.
Yo, shout out
Um
Blaze.
and also I wanted to tell them we have the QR code to your X like right here.
Oh,
So
wow.
if they wanna, yeah, if they wanna follow you on X, they can just scan the QR code.
Damn that QR code. Yeah, you should do that. Mediocre decisions lead to great surprises. Go scan that code.
Wait, wait, I'm trying to share my screen. Ah, there it is. What am I doing? Oh, there you go.
There we
Fill
are.
it out. I'm like so like bad at this. I'm like trying to get used to. I'm trying to get used to streaming on like Restream and using all this stuff. But yeah, so this is the website Mallow, where if anybody wants, they can buy one of the VHS tapes. And so the VHS tapes come with an NFT and a physical, actual VHS tape, which is just so cool. And this is what it looks like. And yeah, so right now it says $124 and
Ooh.
1.4 Solana.
And what you're
Is there a
getting?
video?
Oh yeah, there is
Cool.
transitioning into all the little extras you get.
These are so cool.
Yeah, I also like because they're not just like fake movie posters, they have plots and ideas. So all the little
Hmm.
extras are little Easter eggs from the movie itself.
That's really cool. And
Are
there's
you
like
already finished the script for the movie, or how it look like in your head right now? Is it just like your idea of the movie,
Yeah,
or you
it's
still created everything?
no, it's more of it's an idea. It's a synopsis that is it's like this is the idea, but the actual like scripts, whether they become shorts or features, no, because I want them to be developed with the community. So hopefully when we have all 10 released and all 10 sold, that we have a big enough community that people can start to have their input into them and they can start shaping them. So it's almost like when you buy a VHS tape, you become a producer, right? You become a de facto creative in the project and you get to have a say. So it's not, I think it's much more fun to wait to have the final script, the final idea of what these will be when we have enough of a community that can actually input
Mm,
their own ideas, because how
just
cool would it be to watch this is a short animation, and then you see one little scene, you go, "That was my idea," you know?
Yeah, and I think that's a really good idea because that's kind of why Nuko is such a big deal because it's like the team has figured out how to include the community in such a creative way, and it's like every time they like make a new video, it's kind of like people are looking for, well, did I get included? Did like something that I make get included? And when it does get included, you feel like so, I don't know, you feel like really special, and you feel like really like you belong in this like community and like this thing that is being built. And it's like, I don't know, it's really cool when you get to see like something that you've been part of
Mm.
getting made. And I think it's such a cool idea with the VHS tapes because there's like people even in like more maybe than millennials, even younger people are starting to have this like nostalgia for like stuff from way back. It's like I feel like it's becoming more about like record players and cassette tapes and like VHS tapes, and like people want to collect that. I even have seen like people getting like Walkmans again, and then
Oh,
like collecting tapes of like music, and it's like they have some like I've seen some people get like really cool like Walkmans and like really cool like tapes, and they just did. People love collecting that stuff. It's so
yeah.
nostalgic, and I feel like, you know, just like how you have all the stuff like behind you that you've collected. It's like when you start like, and like a lot of people also collect books. It's like everybody collects stuff, and so it's just such
Mm.
a cool idea, and it's like, you know. I don't know. I love it because then it's, and also, you know, when you get a tape, it's not just a tape. You like, there's like the cool stickers that you put in there and everything, and it's like
Yeah.
I don't know, such a cool thing.
Well, yeah, again, it's like because I like to collect pop culture junk. So I basically the thing is I make what I want to collect. So what you're seeing now is what I want. So the only piece of advice I ever give to creatives or artists is make the stuff you want to see in the world. Make the stuff you would collect, right? That's my only north star. If I'd collect it, I'm on the right track. But also, I do agree with you. I think that we're in a time now where everything is streaming and everything is in the cloud, and what it means to own something is a little bit different. And part of the Atomic Trash Video Rentals project is there is an anti-streaming sentiment around it where we're like, it's own movies, not subscriptions. And I mean, you pay money to Netflix monthly just to rent movies. You never own them. And I think that's an issue,
Mm,
especially when we see that, like, if they remove something from Netflix and if it's out of print, that movie or that TV show is essentially gone. So I think you see with a lot of Gen Zers, it's not just because it's nostalgic, but it's also actually owning something, and it's your piece of media, and it comes with cool box art, and comes with, like, it's physical, and it's better than just watching something on streaming, and it's more intentional. And
and
I think that's really important. Um, but yeah, I think that, like, even for me, it's like I mourn the fact that a lot of younger people will never experience a video rental store. Because, like I said, I worked in one when I was a teenager, and this was a time when there's no internet. So if you wanted to watch a movie, you had to go to the video store and rent a movie out. And on a Friday night, you would have like teenagers, you'd have like young couple dating, you'd have families, you'd have just like everyone from the entire community are all in this one place trying to figure out what movie they want to rent, and they're all walking around, and people are talking to each other. And I think it was like a third place. It was like a community hub that we lost. Um, that's just disappeared. And I think there's something special about that. And I think that Gen Zers, particularly younger ones who never experienced it, they want to go to a place where they can talk about movies and rent a movie as opposed to just streaming it. Because that's powerful. We gave up something in the pursuit of instant gratification. And I think we're only realizing now that there was something special about, community going to a video store. Well, I think that anyway.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I know I have to agree with you. One of the best memories that I have from my childhood was like on the weekend when like me and my friends would like have a sleepover and we'd go to the VHS like store and would like rent a VHS tape. We'd all like pick it together and then we'd go back and like
Hmm.
we'd get the popcorn and then we'd like watch movies all night. And it was so much fun and like I also just like you feel like kind of sad for like the young people that don't get to experience
Yeah.
that. And like I wanted to touch upon like that point that you made about like owning everything digitally and how like it changes. So like recent just yesterday on X, I saw basically this lady that took a screenshot of reading a book on her Kindle, and it was a book that I used to read like when I was a teenager, like more than 12 years ago, probably like 13, 14 years ago. And it was about like other girls that were like 13, 14 in America. And it was very cool to me because I was living in Europe and then I was reading this book about these teenagers in America and what their life was like, and that was like super interesting. So the Kindle version of those books that were written way back then has been changed now, and it reads stuff about like their like modern there's like modern product placement in there and TikTok. And I was like, how are you going to ruin this book by including like they're like watching TikToks, like they were talking about watching TikToks in the book. And to me that is so bad because it takes so much away from like the appeal of this book to
Hmm.
basically give a chance to like teenagers everywhere, like when they read these books from back then, to see how like teenagers back then used to live, and it takes away of like the representation. And it's so, I don't know, it was so soulless because it's like they could just like they it you know, you don't have like when it's a digital version of something, they take away your right to like say if you want it to be changed or not. Like you
Hmm.
cannot, I don't know, it's just you just kind of lose all control of
Yeah.
like what you own. And
Yeah.
so also what happens if like yeah they decide to delete it, because I remember there's a version of like a Cinderella movie on Disney. It was like the first like live action Cinderella that they did, which was really good actually. It was probably the best like live action that they did, and then they ruined all of them, and then they deleted it from Disney Plus. It's not there anymore. So like if
Yeah.
you want to watch it, you have to go find a way to like buy it, or like I don't know, like
Mm.
if you had it. So it's just you don't own anything. If you own it
Yeah.
digitally, you don't really own it.
Yeah.
Which
No,
is
this is your nail on the head here. This is the problem. Even stuff like I'm a big fan of the Simpsons TV show, and I had all the DVD box sets. And you can, if you have a Disney Plus subscription, you have access to all the Simpsons, right? But there are certain episodes that they've removed because in today's culture, they are considered to be, you know, not quite acceptable. Like the main example of this is an episode called Stark Raven Dad, where they had Michael Jackson as a guest voice. And obviously, all of the controversies around Michael Jackson, they've removed that episode. So you can't get that episode anywhere unless you have it recorded off the TV from the 90s or you have the DVDs. But unfortunately, it's actually one of the best episodes they made. And it's like, why do you get to remove that? Yeah, we understand Michael
right.
Jackson is probably, he's a problematic figure now, but a lot of people
You
look
know
on
what?
a.
One time we are going to get into this Michael Jackson stuff with you because it is like he's actually not bad. They killed him, and then there's like proof in there, and it's like a conspiracy kind of theory, but it's not a conspiracy theory anymore because he was never found guilty of anything, so he's innocent.
Mm. But
Anyways,
that's,
I'm sorry.
but again, and I mean, like everyone has their point of views, but the point is that you don't get to take away that episode. You don't get to decide that I don't get to see that anymore. But they do because you give up all your ownership when you stream, or so that's and it's like you said, your favorite novel as a kid.
Mhm.
If you don't own the hardback or the physical copy of it, they can keep changing and updating that digital version all they want
Mhm.
until, and then younger people are reading it and they don't get the essence of it because they never read the original.
Mhm.
And I just feel like, and it's the same with art. Like my biggest issue with like AI,
Mhm.
and that's a whole different kettle of fish, right? But what I think AI is inevitable. I think artists, you're going to have to embrace it some way, shape, or form. But what I don't like about AI is that generation of young creators not to be skilled in the art of
Mhm.
illustration,
Mhm.
and AI will ultimately control the kind of art you make because art's about speaking truth to power. But when you have all these tech bros who control the AI, they ultimately control the kind of art you can make if you can't make it on your own without AI as well. Maybe that's maybe just my conspiracy theory there.
Mhm.
But I think it's powerful owning stuff, and we don't own enough stuff anymore. And that's kind of the crux of the collection as well. It's giving physical ownership to people, and because it's important. And I'm guilty of it. I at one point had like 3,000 DVDs and VHSs, and I sold them all. And I
Mhm.
was like, streaming's amazing. This is great. I don't take up any space. But I only realized afterwards, and now, I'm slowly building a physical collection
Mhm.
again and collecting again. And I understand the importance of, but there's also ritual to it, right? Because you talked about going to the video store with a sleepover, right? And you and your girlfriends, you go in and you rent a movie, you take it home, and you start watching it, right? Now, instantly, that movie could be terrible. And you guys could be all like, this movie is so bad. But you don't have another option, right? You don't have a stack of movies, you don't have a streaming service. This is the only movie you have. So you're going to see it to the end and you're going to give it a chance. And by the end of the movie, maybe one or two of you are actually like, I kind of like that. I'm kind of into that. And I feel like that's the issue with streaming culture as well, is that we don't give art a chance anymore. And when you watch a movie on Netflix, within 5 minutes, if you're not like, oh, I don't like this, you're instantly just switching
Mm.
to the next movie. And
Yeah.
even if you like something, before the credits even roll, it's suggesting the next movie in the corner. And it's like, you don't get to sit with art anymore. You don't get to like take it in and let it percolate in your mind. It's like junk food now,
Mhm.
whereas back in the day, the ritual of going to a video store, picking a movie out, bringing it home, like you were stuck with that movie. You're
Yeah.
going to read the cover, you're going to look at the art, you're going to watch the movie, you're going to take it in, but we don't do that anymore. And it's the same with everything. It's the same with art. It's the same with literature. It's the same with everything. We have so much choice now that if
Mhm.
something doesn't instantly hit with us, we move along. So now art is made to try and be like provocative or hit you straight away. And there doesn't seem to be a space for quite art or art that, is appreciated over multiple viewings. And I think that's kind of sad.
Wait, don't you think like before in the same shops where you worked on like people could take all these tapes and watch all these movies that already were oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm so sleepy today, I feel myself really bad. It was like much harder back then to create movies and everything, and everyone was so censored and stuff, so we already received in shops like you're talking about something that other people already choose, so we had like this small choice, and probably these movies that got into this shop, they already was super great. And right now we had so many creators, so that's why we're scrolling so fast, because it's so much, so many content existing, and we're just trying to find our own. And that's why we are like not giving a chance if we see that something not match with us, because like
Mhm.
we have too much choice maybe right now, and this is good as well. We can find our communities in this as well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you as well. There's always a trade-off, right? There's always going to be a good and a bad side to it. But I think personally for me, I prefer the idea of having less, but I think we traded depth for breadth, you know? And I do think we are still censored. I think that, yeah, I mean, I'm based in Ireland, and for a long time, the Catholic Church pretty much ran this country, so they heavily censored the kind of
Yeah,
movies that we could see. Now they always got through, but they did censor it. But we knew we were being censored. We knew. Well, I was a bit too young for it, but the older generation, they knew there was more out there. I think that censorship still happens. It's just more. It's done by an algorithm now, and it's just a little bit more insidious. Insidious. Like we are still being censored, and it doesn't matter. Whether we're talking about art or politics, when you are on a platform, those platforms, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or X, they all have agendas, and they do, algorithmically push certain things and push other stuff down. So I think we're still being censored. It's just a little bit less obvious than it was in the 70s or 80s, you know?
Yeah. Well, you guys made me think. I wanted to, like, there's something that I wanted to touch on that you said that was very interesting. It's like, so you mentioned that, like, there's so much content, and it's like kind of like, it basically everything that's being made right now, AI is allowing it to be made so quickly, and it's kind of like junk food. So it made me think about, like, the fact that it's like, because it is like junk food, and it's like the quality of everything keeps like just going down, and it's like we're not really taking, because whenever it was harder to create content, whenever it was like harder to write a book, or like sit down and like draw an animated movie, or draw a painting, like, without using AI, people were much more mindful of like what they wanted to write down, and what they wanted to paint, what they wanted to like express. And so, like, all the tools that we're giving, like with technology, it's all great, but at the same time, it allows everybody to just create more quickly. And so it's like it kind of takes away of like I like the marinating process, I guess. Like, if you just have to sit with your idea and like marinate on it, and you have to think about, okay, but is this really good? Is this what I want to put out in the world? It's like it's a very, I don't know, to me that's like very interesting. And it's like, like, even like with books, I get like really frustrated with like the quality of books, because it's like the stuff that people read nowadays is absolute garbage. And it's like like, how are you going to, and it literally is like junk food, because it's like it's just sloppy language, and like it's something that shouldn't even have been published. And it's like, because like everything is so easy nowadays, and like everything is accessible to everybody, it's like it's like anything can be, anybody can just make something. And it kind of like, I
oh
don't
my
know, to
God,
me.
it sounds like right now, like my grandma. She was like telling, before on the television,
Can't help it.
we seen these guys who in the youths, and everything was so beautiful. And right now, they all have tattoos and everything. How we can watch it? Come on.
I mean, okay, but like think about it. Think about not even that, but just like think about people's houses. Even think about like the architecture, like around like cities and stuff like that. It's like everything has become extremely like simplistic. Everything is like stripped down to like the bare minimum of it could actually like of what it could possibly be. And it's like a long time ago, it used to be where everything was like extremely intricate, and people had like pictures in their house, and like everything was made to last a long time. And now everything is just like, even like your furniture is junk food, because it's going to break, and like, I don't know, a year from now you're going to have to change it. Like, I don't know, you're going to buy your appliances, and they're not going to last longer than like 2 or 3 years. And like stuff that was built in the 50s, I've seen like people on the internet that like restore like old like fridges, or like, cool appliances, and they still like they can use them. They're really cool, because they were built to last like a lifetime. And now everything is trash.
That's capitalism for you, huh? But
Right.
no, you do make a point, and I think it's like a double-edged sword, right? It's
Mm.
when you give everyone the ability to create, it is amazing. It means that there's no barrier to entry anymore, and everyone gets an opportunity with how democratized software has made animation, AI has made creating content. And it's amazing in one regard because you could have people like maybe someone who's severely disabled that could never paint, but now with AI, they can prompt images from their mind and create them. And that's incredibly amazing. Um, and we can't overlook that. That is the power of AI. But on the other hand, yeah, there's a lot of people that are, I'm just going to, flood the market with junk because I just want to make a bit of money. And where there was a time where the barrier to entry, like if you wanted to create illustrations, well, you have to learn how to draw, and you don't learn that overnight, and that takes time. And anyone that wasn't committed to it would fall off. So there is a thing where there's good, like it's like everything. When you with progress, we always leave something behind in the pursuit of progress. So yeah, there's a good and
You,
bad, you know.
that was like a quote from Harry Potter. It's like, I don't know if you like Harry Potter, but there's a
I've
quote.
never seen them really. Okay.
It's like there's a in the and I'm a book fan, so like in the fifth book, there's like a headmaster that goes, "We need to leave progress behind for the in the name of progress" or something like that. It's just, I'm sorry, I interrupted
I'm
you.
I'm just, yeah, clearly I'm just very smart. No, I've never even seen the movies. My wife keeps trying to get me to watch them. But it is true. But it's like you said, like the grandmother saying it was better in my time. Probably wasn't. We just look back at shit you know, um, with rose tinted glasses. Even I'm the same. Like, I mean, my whole collection's about video stores, but back then, like if you told me about streaming, I'd be like, sign me up. I just think that with every advance, we take the bad with the good, and yeah, there is a lot more, as you say, like a lot more mediocre writing and a lot more mediocre art. But I do believe that the cream will always rise to the top, and I think that even with AI, you can't teach somebody that doesn't want to put the effort in to learn how to be, say, a good storyteller or be a good writer, and AI is not going to replace that. And I mean, even the fact that now, how long has ChatGPT been around now? And we're already being able to spot stuff that's AI written. It becomes so obvious to us. Imagine in another 10 or 20 years, like when we look back at this era, we'll be like, oh, all of this shit was clearly AI, and it won't be remembered. So I think the cream always rises. I think I like to believe that. But I also do like the idea that, you know, we're going through a stage where mainstream art, whether it's say like Hollywood movies, are becoming more homogenized, they're becoming more mediocre because their budgets are so big that they can't take any risks with the art they make. So it has to be like a four quadrant movie. It has to please everyone. And it just means that interest in art gets pushed to the side. Art that actually challenges people, movies that make people feel uncomfortable, don't get made anymore. But with how democratized technology is becoming, and with AI, um, we'll see fringe filmmakers make really fringe art, and we'll see really interesting, challenging ideas again. So again, there's always going to be good with the bad. It's just being able to differentiate them. And
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. It's just and I think that in my like what I think is that no matter how much like AI and how good it gets, it's like and the people who the people who use AI a lot, they know how actually like stupid it is. But the people who don't use AI but like are kind of against it, they're always like, "Oh, AI is going to like AI is like so bad and it's going to take your job." And it's like, "Yeah, but try doing like a complicated task with it." And then you're going to get pissed off because of how like stupid it is and how like it can't really do what you wanted to do, and how like, it's like you need like you need
Hmm.
humans to do art, and it's like
I
you will always need that human
Yeah.
touch.
To be honest, just sorry to cut you off, but I tried to get AI. I tried to get ChatGPT to teach me Blender, and I swear to God, I nearly punched my computer screen about half a dozen times. Um,
Uh,
so that's how silly AI is. It's yeah, if you want to experience rage on a level you've never experienced, try and get AI to teach you how to use Blender. Yeah.
I'm going to try it now just to, because I love Blender. I love I used to I tried to teach myself how to use Blender a while back, and so I just went on YouTube and I found like videos of like people doing tutorials, and I'll just follow the tutorials, and that was actually really nice. So maybe you should try that instead of asking
Well,
ChatGPT.
see, that was the thing, right? I just had like specific things I wanted Blender to do.
Okay. Uh
And I was
huh.
like, all right, let me try ChatGPT. I'm like, teach me how to do this very specific thing. It's like, okay, Trev. And then it just gives me all of this direction that makes absolutely no sense. And the more I keep saying, okay, that didn't work, and I'm sharing screenshots, it just keeps getting more and more weird. It keeps getting worse. And then, like, I remember I was asking it, I just need to do this little, how do I do this one thing? And it made me uninstall Blender, reinstall Blender. And then after all of that, it was like, oh, just click this button. And then that button fixed it. I'm like, couldn't have just told me that in the first place. Like, it literally drove me around the bend. And I'm like, AI ain't all that smart, you know?
No, it's
Guys,
not.
nothing will replace good Indian guys who explaining everything on YouTube. This is the best
100%.
guys ever. I'm
Yeah.
I'm grateful for my life to these guys. I swear to God. Every time I need to learn something, there's Indian man on YouTube who explain everything super quickly, super clear, and I'm like, oh my God, yes, dude, thank you so much.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that as well, because when I need some like some really complex tech explained, if it's an Indian guy in the thumbnail, I'm like, that's the one I'm clicking on.
The best. Yes.
Yeah, because it's like that guy knows his shit. Like that's when you know you're gonna
Listen,
get.
even before I purchased my phone with the Optimus Prime, I just was checking YouTube, and there was like Indian guys who unpacking this toys, and I'm like, oh, okay, it seems like I need this one, not this one, So these guys like saving lives for years. Just super
God
great,
bless him.
people. But I wanted to ask you, by the way, that you launched your collection and it's already only like 13 items. How you planning? Is clearly not enough for one episode or something like that. So what is yeah? How you planning to like? I don't know why didn't launch more items to earn more money to be able to actually produce some cartoon or animation. Yeah, because like it just like doesn't make sense for me right now. Like because it's not a money when you can produce something. No, or I'm mistaken. Please correct me.
Oh, when it comes to like making the actual animations,
Mhm.
well, you know, I yeah, no, that does make sense. Your question. I'm an analog. Like I hand draw, right? So I'm a digital. I don't consider myself a digital artist. I'm an artist who just uses digital tools. So with
Mhm.
animation, I don't use Blender. I don't use Cinema 4D. I animate frame by frame. So essentially, I am animating the way animators would have animated on paper in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s, except I'm just doing it on a digital screen. So I literally draw the frame, then draw the next frame. So I'm not using puppets, I'm not using rigs or keyframes. Because I'm just a big fan of hand drawn animation frame by frame. So obviously, when you animate that way, it takes a long time to do it.
Mhm.
So when I look at, like, for instance, this release here, Bikini Bottom Bloodbath Babes, it would take me 3 months to make a 2 to 5 minute animation on my own. So that's why it makes no sense to do the animations right now, because it would mean I'd only be releasing maybe 2 or 3 VHS tapes a year. Whereas by just releasing them as art collectibles now, once all of them are out, I can get my community to vote on, okay, which movie do we want to see as an animation first? And by the time that they're all out, they can vote, and I'll have enough of the funds from every, because every drop, I take the funds, I take the profit out of it and I put it away, and I only take money from it to manufacture the next set of tapes. And all that money's there so that I can hire animators at the end of it to work with me. So then we can, because I don't, again, it goes back to like, I don't just want to create computer animations. I don't want to use AI to animate. I don't want to use puppet software. I want it to all be organic. I want it hand drawn, because again, it's what sets it apart, right? It's if this is about VHS tapes, if this is about what we've left behind, I want it to be animated in this way. And I think it just looks much, much better to have hand drawn animation, but unfortunately that takes a lot of time, and
I
it
just
takes.
wanted to, yeah, sorry, I'm not interrupting you. I just wanted to you to know that I made an interview with yeah boy Nancy, and he's animator as well. Super dope guy. You see, like his graphic is super fun and stuff. So he found a way how to animate it super fast. And I just wanted to show it to you so you could save your time if necessarily. You can connect with him and ask him, but he on the live stream show us this tool, and the process he said like now is much faster for him. So it's the same, like there is no AI in his production, but this tool helped him to make characters more alive faster. Like I can't find it right now on
Yeah,
his.
definitely. Hey, listen, I'm interested if it
You see here, he's animating it like before he did like you frame by frame, but now he found some tool that help him to animate it faster. I just like I don't know, maybe you need to yeah,
I think there it is.
this tool, yeah.
Like make it big.
is he using rigging?
Yeah, I think it's some kind of a like rig
Yeah.
type of thing.
So
Yeah.
maybe it just will help you, because I understand like your problem, and this artist just told us that he dealt with that through
Yeah.
this tool.
Yeah, no, and see, this is my problem as well, because I'm being a purist as well, talking about I just want to be frame by frame, and talking with a lot of people are like, you have to, you have to give some of this to like rigging or puppetry, or like, because this is how it's done modern,
Oh wait,
the old way.
your audio cut out a little bit, Trev.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just saying that, like, part of me is also being very romantic about just doing it the old way. And there is like, if I need this to grow, there is a level of where I have to give up some of the process and say, it's okay to use keyframe in these scenes. It's okay to use puppets in these scenes, and keep a blend of it. But I just think that for me, it's like in the age of AI, how do you differentiate yourself? Well, you just go in the opposite direction and you do everything by hand. So,
No,
but
that's cool.
it
That's
doesn't
cool. I
mean,
respect it much more. I love it for you.
yeah,
Ira
it's
hates AI, so
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I think it's easy to hate it, and it does freak me out. But I also am thinking it's like it ain't going anywhere either. So it's like, I mean, like, listen, it helps me with emails. That's about the extent I can use it. It's like I'm like fix all my spell. I'm dyslexic, so I'm like fix all my spelling mistakes. That's just about as much as I can use AI. People are always talking to me about it. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I was like, I feel like a dinosaur, but like I feel like I should learn it. Um, but I don't even know where to start. But I'm just not
yeah.
interested in it. It just does not interest me. But
Yes,
the way I think
understanding.
about it is that I have no interest in watching an animation created by AI, right? But some 5-year-old kid right now, they won't know the difference. And if they grow up in a world just watching AI being normalized to them, they probably won't care by the time they're older. So I don't know. I feel like it's going to be normalized for a whole generation of people, and there will be a time where people will just look at us like, "Ah, you're just fucking old boomers," you know. So it's scary, right? It's
It is actually very scary. I wanted to tell you guys that so Sins is not like was late because we had a confusion of the time because I just found out that Arizona is the only state in the US that does not change their
oh
clocks whenever the
Oh
wow,
my
rest of the
God.
country does. And
Same.
I lived in the US for like 10 years. I had no clue.
that's like a quiz
It's like
question. That is, that's like a cool trivia.
They all the time
and
change it in different times, in different like weeks, and this is insane. They make me
yeah.
like super
Mhm.
And
crazy.
so even that it's like so the rest of the US changed their clocks like last Sunday. So like we have a week where like we have less of a time difference with the US, and like I
Mhm.
think this Sunday Europe is supposed to change our clocks. And
Yeah.
so then we're going to be on a normal time difference, but then I had no clue that Arizona didn't never change their clocks. That's like the weirdest freaking thing ever. But yeah, he thought we didn't communicate well about the time, so he was out and he told me that he was at the store. And so I told him that he can join us whenever he's ready, so he might come in.
Yeah. Well, I must admit, I checked the times like because I know the US changed time, so I checked the times like 3 times to make sure that I was on time as well. So it was freaking me out as well.
Yeah, yeah, cause it freaked like this week, like it freaks me out as well because everybody's like on a different schedule, so it's like I don't know, and it's like all like out of whack. So it was weird to me, um, but we were talking about AI, right? I forgot what we were talking about,
Damn AI.
but damn AI. But it's like a really good conversation, and I think it's just an interesting thing to talk about and like process. And it's like it's so I don't know, and a lot of like in crypto, I feel like we're always kind of ahead of like other normal people because like normal
No
people are
way,
like
no way, no fucking way. Don't say that never. Because Web2 people, they are so much ahead. And Web3 people will all the time, oh, this normises. But look,
well,
like rediscovering, like, even if we touch about like Epstein files, okay? So today I watched True Crime, where they
uh-huh.
discovered everything about, Epstein and stuff. And I found out that they're like separate site that dedicated to these files, and they have like a folder with the crypto topics, and no one in crypto talking about this folder. Like we so much, like
Well,
they are ahead of us because they discovering topics, they produce all the videos, they produce like the better videos, the content from web 2 much better than web 3 content. And we are
well,
stuck. Actually, if you will watch it, the whole picture, we will be stuck at everything.
Well, what I was going to say is that specifically about like when it comes to like technology and like stuff like that, I feel like crypto people have kind of already accepted AI. Like there are some people that don't like it, but most of like web3 and like crypto people are kind of like okay with it. It's kind of
Because
like we've
we
already
always
accepted that it's not going anywhere.
we're
But
always just looking for a simple way, and AI just a simple way to produce everything, quickly and like this, and the
true,
same
true.
agents, and that's it. And that's why Web2 people hate AI because it's lower quality, it's like bullshit content, and they know.
Yeah, but I feel like they and yeah, and I was going to say they just don't like it. They hate it. They don't want to have
Mhm.
anything to do with it. So like anytime like you mention it or like I mean even if you mention like crypto or like AI, they just don't want to have nothing to do with it. But it makes I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I
I
don't know.
understand them more and more, to be honest. With time, I'm like, okay, guys, you understand better.
Yeah.
But by the way, talking about you and your creativity, do you feel the difference how Web2 audience react on your creativity? Like, if we're not talking about, sales, if we're not talking about, like utility or whatever, just about idea that you're implementing. Do you feel the difference how? Web3 and Web2 people reacting?
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, I agree. Just listening to both yous go back and forth, I do kind of agree with both yous. I do think that like people in Web3 are more open to new technology, sometimes to a fault, and they will embrace technology a lot more. Uh, but I do think that there's a higher level of skill in Web2 because I came from doing illustration in Web 2, and it's it's a weird thing to say, but like the standard of art in Web 3 is not anywhere near how good the standard is in Web 2. And that's just kind of the way it is. But I do find that, like, especially with a project with Atomic Trash and the VHS tapes, yeah, definitely I get more traction on it as pure content in Web 2 because more of the target audience is in Web 2. Like if you think about it, you kind of people that want to collect VHS collectibles tend to be middle-aged men with disposable income because they were, around it. That just seems to be the demographic for me. And crypto isn't that demographic as much. It's more younger kind of people. But yeah, I do feel that like it's like Web 2 appreciates it more, but they're not willing to spend. Like I find that like Web Web 2 people tend to like, you know, they don't appreciate digital art the way I think people in Web 3 will. There is a difference. Yeah, there definitely is a difference. But yeah, I do find, but yeah, the biggest reaction I get is just like I say, like middle-aged dudes love my shit, that just seems to be my audience for some reason. But I get it, like, I'm a middle-aged dude, so
That was a good question, Ira.
yeah, it is.
And
And it's a fascinating thing to think about because I don't you don't think about that a lot, it's like, yeah, Web3 people, they sometimes, like, I used to think that, like, and this is a horrible thing to say, is like, people collecting, especially like in 2022, 23, when the NFT boom was huge. It's like, I used to think that a lot of collectors in Web3, it's like, you guys don't have any history in art collecting and you don't know what's good and what isn't. And that's kind of cool in a way, but it's also kind of frustrating as well. Um, because you see, artists that like will blow up in Web 3, and it's like you would never be successful in Web 2. Like there's just no way, and that's kind of cool in a way, but it's also kind of like interesting in another sense that, I think it is fascinating. And I don't have a strong opinion either way. I think it is really, 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 really interesting that, like, even like someone like Beeple, it was incredibly huge Web 3 artist, that just couldn't do anything in Web 2, in the
yeah.
traditional, and it's like, for better or worse, it's definitely different audiences. Yeah. But I do find Web3 community have been so much more supportive on a financial level that they will back a project. I could ask, you know, I could have like a lot of followers on Instagram and say, can you guys support me with this project? And they're like, nah, we'll like all your stuff, but we're not going to. But Web 3 is much more robust and more proactive. So, which is why I'm still building Web 3 when technically, like, all the marketing research tells me I should be concentrating on Web 2 with a project like this. But I'm like, nah, I feel like the people are in Web 3 that I fuck with.
Yeah, yeah. And that makes a lot of sense. And I'm gonna say the very controversial thing that I don't like people's art. It's like
Well,
it grosses me out every time I see it, and I can understand why like some people like it, but it was never my cup of tea. I'm like, I see his art and it makes me just cringe, and I'm
yeah.
like, ew,
I mean, I
Yeah.
suppose that's good in a way, isn't it? Like, you have a reaction to it. I mean,
right?
yeah, like, I mean, I'm neither here and I'm not like, I don't hate him, I don't love him, which is probably the worst way to be, But at least you hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, at least I feel something. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know, cause I've always like tended to like I gravitate towards like pretty things, and like his art is like anti pretty, and I just don't like it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's good. Like if you said to me, Trev, I don't like your art, I'd be like, I'm glad. I much prefer you saying that than saying, Trev, I have no opinion on your art. Because like I think like not having an opinion on it is probably like the worst thing.
Yeah.
It's good, right? You want people not to like it because if everyone liked it, it would be just homogenous bullshit, right?
Right.
So I think in a
Imagine
way,
if
you
everybody just felt neutral about your art. Like you couldn't find the person that either liked it or like hated
yeah,
it. Everybody was just kind of like meh.
yeah, it becomes hotel art. It's like
Yeah.
it's fine. It's art that doesn't offend anyone. It doesn't evoke a reaction, either good or bad. It's just there, you
It's
know?
just there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like. Okay, so I kind of you. So your art sometimes it like kind of has this like very like grungy, like it has like grungy themes in it. I don't know how to explain it. Where it's like, it's like not always like, let's call it like, you don't, the things that you draw, like the way that you do art is like the style is really cool and really clean, but it's like the topics are not always like, let's call them pretty, but at the same time I always love the colors, and it's like the colors that you use in your art are like the combination of it always like attracts my brain, and it's like I like to look at it because it's like the colors are cool, and it's like the themes are kind of like grungy, but I love how you portray them. I don't know how else to explain it. If that makes
Thank you.
sense.
No, thank you. And it does make sense. I really appreciate that. But you know what? It's funny you say that because I got my background is in street art and graffiti.
Mm.
And graffiti, it's very male dominated, and there's a lot of machismo to it, and a lot of guys, when you paint graffiti, when you paint street art, you're doing it illegally, and you're doing it on the streets, and you're doing it because you want people to notice it,
Mhm.
and because it's kind of male heavy. A lot of graffiti writers, they use lots of chromes, lots of blacks, lots of heavy reds,
Mhm.
and I figured that, you know what, like if I use turquoises and teals and pinks and purples, they're like really bright colors, and they really stand out, and they grab people's attention. And when you paint street art in those colors, and people go by in a bus or a car, they'll turn their heads to look at it. But if it's like really gray and chrome and
Mhm.
black and it looks aggressive, it's not going to register with people. And I mean, like, you can see it in the background here. I've got like, these are my
Mhm.
paintings on the wall here, and I'm
Mhm.
still using the same colors, and
Mhm.
these are all spray painted, and I've always used those pop art colors because I think they're pleasant, and they turn people's heads, but also you can kind of draw like a grotesque scene and then use really bright playful colors, and it kind of just takes people off guard as well. So I just kind of like learned that if I use this color palette, it turns people's heads on the street when I was spray painting, and I just never stopped, and I just kept staying with those colors. And then as I've transitioned into digital art and
Mhm.
animation, I've just kept using those colors. I just haven't learned new color palettes. I've just kept using the same ones.
I love your color palette.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's like how you like literally what you said. It's like the like thick lines, and you could, I feel like you can kind of feel that your background was in like graffiti art when you look at your art. But so it's like the color palette is like what always catches my eye. And it's like if you and it's like such a recognizable style, because when you're scrolling through, like let's say you're scrolling through like X, I can always recognize that it's like your art that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And so it's like a specific thing that you do that's like really really cool and really unique. And yeah, you use pretty colors for like really not like, for like really like grungy like type of not so pretty topics. And so it's like, so I don't know, I love it, it's so cool.
I appreciate that. Yeah, It's fun. It's and they're cool colors to work with as well. And yeah, I think it's interesting because like why use boring colors, right? And I just love using pinks and purples. I just think they're fantastic colors. They just I just love color. I just think it's fascinating how color changes when you put it next to other colors. And yeah, I just love just really bright pop colors. I just like my idea of a nightmare is using like browns and swampy green. I could just never do that. I just everything has to be like really, really bright. And um I think, yeah, because it takes people off guard, right? I think that it's the same way by like using cartooning. And there's a reason why, when you look at a lot of like political cartoons, there was a reason why throughout history, fascism would use cartoons to make derogatory statements about people, because people get taken off guard by cartoons. They think they're fun. Um, and you can like really, you can, take a cartoon and you can like put a message through a cartoon and catch people off guard, and you can communicate a lot through a cartoon, because you can have like a serious piece of art that says this is how you're supposed to feel about the world. If you use a piece of satire and use cartooning, um, you can really catch people off guard. And I always find that really fascinating. And not to say that that's something I do, but I just find it fascinating by using like comic book style illustration with bright poppy colors. You can tackle really serious subjects in a really subversive way, and that's something that fascinates me endlessly.
I wanted to bring back the Mallow page for the Bikini Bowling Bloodbath Babes. Say that really fast 10 times. But I wanted to bring it back because we've been going on for like almost an hour and a half, and I don't know how much time you have. So like I want to like give you the opportunity to go if you like need to go. I don't want to keep you hostage here. But I wanted to mention the VHS tapes one more time for like the people that are watching us right now. Um, and that they're on Mallow. I also can like post a link to the Mallow page on the in the Blaze chat and on X if people are interested to check it out. And yeah, it's an actual NFT that you get. So you get digital art and you get a physical tape with like a bunch of like stickers and cool stuff in there. Yeah, Trev, wait, let me put you like in big. Okay, there, show me
Yeah.
the tape now.
All right. So this is the VHS tape. Look at that. How cool is that print job? You gotta love my
That is
printers.
so cool.
Like, who doesn't want that on their shelf? You know?
Okay, I have a
Um,
question. Like as you had that up, so like, do you print like is it a sticker on the VHS tape or the
no, that's
VHS come?
that's uh that's printed. That is paint. That is like acrylically printed onto it.
Wow.
That is like
Okay.
it's a printer that does them, and then you flip it over, and I've got like their slogan. They don't just bowl, they butcher.
Wow.
And then you've got their like it's like an art object, teal
Wow.
or debt, So like, and then and the VHS, and they're also signed and numbered. So whatever one you get,
Okay.
like it's I can't see it, but it's yeah. No, I mean like uh, we don't spare any expense here. We want everyone. When you get it, I want you to open and be like, I don't have buyer's remorse. Like I'm really,
Mhm.
I've got something really fucking cool in my hand. You know, because that's the thing is like I make the stuff so that the stuff I'd be hyped to get. I just make the
Mhm.
stuff I want
Mhm.
to see and I want to
Yeah.
collect. You know, yeah, yeah. So I appreciate you
It's
giving me
it's no no it's really cool, and I love your stuff, and I'm glad that we could have like our live stream on the day that you have your sale, and so I really hope that people are gonna go in there and like check it out and hopefully get one. Yeah, and it's like I want one so bad, but it's like I need to wait and probably get one at some point,
Mhm.
because they're just so cool, and it's like I want to. It's like I want to get to like open it, and like I want to get to experience the VHS
Yeah.
tapes, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, and it's a tough market, and as well, it's like It is, and it's something that I've spoken about with friends and collectors that it's not cheap, to ask someone for like 100 plus USD, but it's also like that is like it's also like that is the cheapest I can make them when it
Mm.
comes to like the manufacturing of it, and then like all the manufacturing of like the printing of the stickers and the postcards and all the money that goes up front to make them, that I'm trying to make it as cheap as possible. But
Mhm.
the more we grow it, the bigger I can make the editions, I'll be able to bring the price down. Like the ultimate goal is to get to a standard of releasing 50, and each edition
Mhm.
is 50, and that way I could bring the price like half, you know. But it's getting there, and right
Mhm.
now it's a tough market, but it's but we build slowly, and this is again, it's like this is what you have to do. um this is the way you have to do it. You have to build it slowly, and unfortunately some people, it takes them, um they have to see all 10 movies before they'll submit and go, okay, I want to be part of this. uh, so it just will slowly build, right? We went from 10 editions
Mhm.
to 13 editions. If this works out, we'll go to 15. And if we go to 15, we might be able to bring the price down by like $10. We go to 20,
Mm.
we go to 25. That's my goal, because I want everyone to be able to be a part of this, and I wanted to keep
Mhm.
growing. And but I'm also under no illusion either, but
Mhm.
I'm also very tenacious. So,
Mhm.
I will keep harassing the timeline until it sells out, and it will,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. And I'll help you. I'll spread the word. And
Well,
it's like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
something. That's something that I don't ever have, like, I don't ever feel bad for like shilling like art basically. It's like I am never going to like try to shill like anything else, but it's like if it's art, it's like it feels good because at the end of the day, you're trying to help an artist. They put all their time and effort into this. If I like it and I think that it looks cool, it's like a personal opinion at the end of the day, and you can either disagree with me or you can agree with me,
mhm,
and you're free to do so. And it's like you can't lose. And this is a rant that I've been on for like a long time, but it's like you cannot lose from just buying cool art, because it's like even if it's just like a digital collectible, if it's just like some art from some artist that is like an NFT, if you really love that art and like you saw it and it like for some reason resonated with you, you wouldn't regret buying it because it's
mhm,
like it's something that you enjoy looking at. And so that's why I have always been excited about NFTs, because they allow artists from all over the place to be able to create art and like make some money out of it, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's like a way, and it's like that's the only reason why I've like really liked crypto and I've like stayed for so long, because it's like I don't really care about the other stuff. It's like, people are like decentralization and like all this stuff, and it's cool, but it's like never was like the primary reason why I have been in this space. And it's always been about just collecting art and hopefully like connecting and like networking with artists and like collecting stuff from like people that I like.
yeah.
um
And you're right as well, and that's like, to your point, is that there was a route where I could just release these collectibles as just purely digital animations, and the reason why I didn't want to do that is because I wanted to always feel like when you supported it and when you picked up an edition, regardless if you stopped following the project, you would always feel like you got something for your money. You got something physical that you could put on your shelf, that you could show your friends, that you could tap your phone and NFC chip it, because they're all NFC chipped, to go to the actual animation. So it was always important for me to be like, I always want to give value, you know, give you value, at every stage. So it's not just because the problem with NFTs are, it's always like, uh, we have a roadmap. Oh, the value is
mhm.
coming.
Mhm.
The value
Mhm.
is don't know. It's like, if you're gonna pay money for it, you want to see something straight away, and everything else is just extra value. But in saying that as well, it's like, yeah, I have been working on this collection for over a year. Um, I've been putting a lot of time into it, a lot of effort, a lot of money, but it doesn't mean that I should automatically have success with it either. Um, that's you can't be entitled like that either. You know, it's you have to make people care about it because nobody cares. As a creator, you have to understand that nobody cares about your art. And why should they? And people get on timeline and go, oh, like buy my art because I need to pay my rent or buy my art. It's like, no, man, it's like make people care about your art. Like, why should they care about what you do? Like, you can't just I think that's a problem that irks me about certain artists is that they'll make something and go, well, I put a lot of time and effort into this, so people should care about it. It's like, no, why should they? That's not how the world works. It's like make them care about it. And that's where I am now. It's like I understand that with these releases that some might sell out in a day. Some like the last one sold out in a day. This might take a few days, it might take a week, it might not sell out, but that's part of the process. It's like I have to make people care. I have to just because I made it doesn't mean that I have a God-given right for it to sell out and be successful. Um, that's why most creators or artists that's where they fail it's like just making the art is not good enough. You need to promote it, you need to market it, you need to make people care, you need to bring people on the journey with you, and that's part of why I make no bones about it. My goal is to create an animated show. This is the foundation of it. I'm giving you an opportunity to come along with me, but if you don't care about this right now, you're certainly not going to care about an animation. So I'm just going to
Yeah.
have to do it really slowly. And that's the reality of the world. Nothing's going to be handed to you. You have to fight for it. You have to like go to war for it. You have to make people care about it. And you do that by showing up all the time. You do that by um always delivering. You do that by when you sell physicals that when the person opens the box that they like you said that they get a kick out of it, like, oh man, this is really cool. And when I pack every box, I'm like, make sure that I'm packing it so that like I want that person. I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of that person opening it as well, and just give people a little kick-ass experience. And yeah, I'm babbling now, but like, yeah, it's nothing's easy, and you kind of it takes thick skin to be an artist and to do this full time. But you can't have anything handed to you. You have to
Yeah.
you know
It's yeah, and I agree with you. I also wanted to shout out all the Blaze people that are watching us. So like you can't really see the chat on Blaze like on X. But if you go on Blaze you can read in there. But the people in there, they've been like really into like listening to us. They've been asking for the links to your profile on X and they've been checking you out. So it's really cool. And I love how like down to earth you are because I have like there are like some artists on there that like have like a certain like attitude and it's like it's like it's kind of like I don't want to be mean, but at the same time, it's like life is not like easy for anyone, and it's like we all go through like different things that we care about. It's like if I care about it, like you said, that doesn't mean that other people would also care about it.
Mhm.
So how do I put? I don't know. I feel like my way of like I don't know, maybe trying to make people care, it's like if I am passionate enough and I'm excited enough and people have fun, then it's like then maybe that's how they're going to care. I don't know, I always am trying to like make stuff fun and because I like to have fun, and so it's like if I'm doing something, it's like I want to have fun and I want people to have fun with me, and so it's like, and it's kind of like when you talk about like the collectibles, and it's like it's also like a like it's about like fun still. I don't know, to me it's like because it's like if you get something physical and then you open it and it's like a cool process of like opening and getting excited, it's like fun. So it's like you had fun making it and then I had fun opening it, so then we had fun together.
Yeah, yeah, because you don't. Yeah, it's you don't want to treat it like it's a transaction.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's no, you're totally correct. It's it's also that level of like people feeling a little bit entitled. I think people feel that like being an artist is easy, or they're like, I want to be an artist or I want to be creative because I like the idea of getting up at 12 o'clock every day, or some silly like that. But it's not. It's really. It's like I always like. There's some days I wish I was just business minded. I wish I could just become an accountant because it just feels like I'd have a much easier life. But I can't. Every normal job I've tried to get, I get fired from within a week. Um, I'm not cut out for normal jobs, and I'm also like heavily tattooed now, so I have to make art work, and I do that through commissions. And I think I treat it like a business, and I treat it like I get up at 7 a.m. every morning, and it's like I have to go to work every morning, and it doesn't matter if I'm not feeling inspired. I have to make work, whether that's doing the admin, doing the email stuff, but like that idea of the romanticism of, oh, I'm just a tortured artist and I'm only going to work when inspiration hits me. It's like, nah, that's an amateur. A professional works because, if you don't, you're not going to be able to pay the bills at the end of the month. So, yeah, I think that's and maybe that's because I come from a working class background, and like when my parents were first married, they were homeless, and they've clawed for everything they've ever had, and now they own their own home and they're retired, and they've never had anything handed to them, and they've always been like, you work, and it's like, you want to be an artist, you want to like draw your pictures and make money for it. If that's what you want to do, it's like, you know treat it like a business, like,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's so yeah, that's always the advice I give people as well, that like, especially in Web3, especially like how bad the market is right now. And whereas people are like, oh, I used to be able to sell stuff all the time and now I can't. It's like, well, roll up your sleeves and, uh, how are you promoting your work? How are you marketing your work? Where can you be getting commissions? Where, it's like, this is not like, this is not supposed to be a holiday,
Yeah.
it's a tough career, it's not, but you have to love it to do it as well.
Yeah.
And you have
Yeah.
to really, really care about the stuff you do. And you have to be a bit crazy as well to think that it's going to work out, but uh, that's what I feel anyway.
I wanted to see what Ira was going to say because she unmuted. I saw her unmute, and I feel like she relates to what you said
Keep
about
starting over.
um, the fact that like you are not cut out for like a normal like job. Ira, is that what you
Oh
wanted to
no, I
comment
just
on?
enjoyed this convo. To be honest, like I really, really enjoyed the whole process of the live stream. And Trev, you're just amazing, super interesting person, and I just laughed from that you need to be an artist because you can't work nowhere else.
It's true. I just keep getting fired.
I love it.
I got a job in a call center when I was living in Berlin, and it was one of those call centers where it's just like rows and rows of people at desks on with headsets on phones. And I lasted like a week and a half, and they fired me. And when they were firing me, they told me that the productivity level of the people sitting left and right and behind you also went way down for the week and a half you were there, because I just constantly just like, just like talking to everyone around me, says, hey man, you're like, you working, and I'm like, yeah, I'm tired of
That
every
is so
every
funny.
job, like every job is just like, get out,
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Trev, somebody said on the Blaze chat, they said, who'd fire Trev? And I was like, some crazy people.
Yeah, well, you've never employed me, so, so, you know, I'm sure you'd feel a
Oh,
lot
that's
different.
funny. That's funny. Oh, that's so funny. But it's like, so I also like I used to do art whenever I was like younger, but for
Show
me
it,
it
show it, show it.
I don't know if I have
Come
like any.
on,
I used to do
share it.
like let me pull up my Instagram.
Yeah,
I
Wow.
used to do like I do like watercolor. I went to like art school, and then I did like some graphic design. Um, and I studied graphic design in college. Um, but it's like I used to do art, and it's like people, and I would be good at like portraits and stuff like that, and then people would ask me to do basically like paint their family, like draw their family or whatever, and it was really hard for me because um anytime anybody wants me to do something for them, it's like in the beginning I'd be like, yeah, okay, like I'll do it, and then it's like I don't want to do this. It's like if somebody wants, it's like that's why I feel like it's like so many artists like do commission work. It's like if I had to survive on commission work, I would die. It's like I would
Mhm.
just like literally could I cannot. It's like, and it's like I don't know why though. It's like I cannot draw if it's for somebody else, and it's like, and slowly it kind of got like left behind because it's like as I grew like older, I started like not paying so much attention to art, not like keeping up with it. And I would like, I'm good at normal jobs, not like, you're not good at normal jobs. I'm like a really good, like, I'm like a really good, like, little worker. It's like, I like to organize things and I like to go and I like to do everything. I like thrive on like praise for how well I did my work. It's so bad.
Nah, no, that's good. Yeah, I just go to the kitchen for 40 minutes making a coffee, and yeah, I'm bad at normal jobs. But no, you are right. Like it is tough to make art like commissioned art, and like I have a lot of friends who are tattoo artists, and I don't know
Mm,
how they do it, because if you think about it, tattoo artists, every piece they ever create is a collaboration with their client, and a lot of the times their client, they have specific demands that, as an artist, that's not going to look good. Like, this is
mm-hmm.
my job, I do this all the time, what you're asking me to do will not look good, but they really want it, so you just have to do it that way. And a lot of tattoo artists, so you think about it, they're doing work where they're compromised all the
Mm-hmm.
time. And I have to take my hat off to them. Like, I could not do that. Like, that would annoy me, because even like doing illustration commissions, you're told, do it this way, and you're like, well, it would look better this way, but we want it this way. And I'm like, all right, I just, if that's the way you want it, and it can be really frustrating, and I get it, but like, that's the thing about, like, not to say you're not, but that's how you become a professional. You have to, if you want this to be a career, you have to be able to say, okay, this, what you're asking me to do, like, you want me to do a portrait of, your family. I'm not really interested in doing it. You
Mm-hmm.
want me to do it this way. Um, I don't think it would look good that way, but I'm gonna do it. That's what you want, and it makes them happy when they see the finished result. And you're like, well, if you're happy with it, there you go. And it does. It takes effort to learn how to do that. Like, I know it seems simple, like, oh, just do what they say, but you're right, because you don't want to do commissions for people because you know what looks good and you know what you want to do. You know, but you just kind of have to learn how to do that kind of
Mm.
stuff as well.
Yeah.
But again, it's just different levels to it. Like, I think tattoo artists are, I could never do what they do, because it's constantly, and it's people's bodies as well. So yeah, it's but
That's
like,
stressful too. Like imagine like messing up on like a tattoo on somebody. Like it's not like you could just like delete it. It's like gonna be there forever. And
That's
yeah,
not the thing that's scaring me. You know, guys, what's scaring me in this work? That you need to talk with people, and you can't avoid this talking with people.
yeah,
You're just not choosing the client, right? You just need to talk with everyone who's coming to you, and it's like serving people emotionally, like every hour of your work life. And this is crazy. That's why, like, sometimes with friends, of course, like, joking, like, oh, we should go on to OnlyFans or something like that. And I'm like, no way I can ever do this job, because it's emotional serving of every person that trying to talk with you, and you like obligated to reply, because that's how you earn. earnings works, right? That's how you make
Mm-hmm.
your money, and that's like that's the hell I think of this job.
Yeah.
100% as well.
Let me give me 1 second. I used to work for a tattoo artist actually, and how I got that job was really weird because I used to work for him whenever I lived in Texas, and he was from New York, and I really liked his artwork. He was like a really good tattoo artist. He's somebody who charged $2,000 a day, and I
Yeah.
was like like his art was like insane. He's like so talented, and I got this job working as like basically like answering all his emails and like booking all his appointments. Because I was like just commenting on one of his Instagram posts, and I was like, man, like you're like really good or whatever. And then he was like, I'm looking for an assistant, and I was like, hey, hire me as your assistant. And then I did that for a while. And it's like it was very interesting for me because I would see like all the emails that people send him and like the type of things that they wanted to get tattooed. And like luckily he was in a position where if he didn't want to do something, he would just be like, I don't like this idea. I like this idea. And then he gave me like basically guidelines on like how to, without asking me, how to decide which tattoos he wanted to do, and that was kind of stressful too. But it was like it was so much fun, and it's just so interesting because it's like if you're a tattoo artist like and you're just like kind of starting, you kind of like have to do
Hmm.
whatever people want. But it's like when you get to like a certain level, like he was, where he just had an insane amount of emails coming in all the time, he just literally just picked the ideas that he liked, and he had like so much more freedom of like what he wanted to work on. But yeah, but then I stopped like working for him because he was very disorganized, and I just couldn't do it anymore.
Sounds about right. Yeah, but it's like it's what you were saying there. It's like you almost become a therapist as a tattoo artist. I'm sure you've
Yeah,
seen that as well. So people just spill their life stories to you, and that's heavy stuff as well to
yeah,
take on board, especially when you're putting something permanent on their body. You know.
yeah.
Whereas
It's like
I'm
a
just different. I'm just like I just get tattooed because it's a Tuesday. You know.
yeah. Oh, I wanted to give me 1 second, and I'll be right back. Oh,
Are we getting to see some of your art? Is that
cause
what we're getting to see?
I can't I can't find like my Instagram, like, cause it's like I'm not logged into my like Instagram account on my computer, and so I can't find my art on there. But I recently did like some really small, like, cause I wanted to do collages, cause like a lot of like people on Solana, like there's a lot of artists that do like collage work, and I've always enjoyed doing that. It was really fun. And so like I was doing like stuff like this, where I did like a little
Nice.
collage, and then I drew the little skull with the roses, and then I cut it out and like I put it on top.
That's so cool. I love the skulls in the bottom left. Is it my left corner? That's really cool. And that's all like made by hand, right?
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
so
like
cool. Because
Oh,
everyone's collaging digitally these days. Like, so you're using a scalpel and you're cutting it all out as well.
yeah, it's like I love
Yeah.
because I did buy like one of those knives that's kind of like a scalpel, and now I want to do like, because I have this paper that's kind of like this. It's like a card sized, and what I'm trying to, and it's like I just drew it, but see, I'm not that great. Like I'm okay.
That's awesome. You tell me that's
no,
okay.
no, I love it. I think you
Yeah, it's
did
like
good.
it's like
That's
I
better
feel
than
like I'm
anything I
not
could
that
draw.
great. It's like I'm not that great. So it's like I want to do like two layered art where it's like on the bottom layer I want to do collage, and then like on the top layer I want to draw something and then like cut it out and then glue it on top of the collage, because it just makes stuff like this, and it's kind of cool. If
Yeah.
you have
I
like a
love it.
full, or like if you have something like this and you cut out like holes around the painting and then you can see the collage from
Yeah.
underneath.
That's cool. And
I feel like
especially
that
if
was
it's
really
like
cool.
handmade. Because like I
Yeah.
love collage, but like I don't like digital collage because it's kind of like, yeah, like I love like when you're doing it by hand, especially because you have limited, like even the stuff you can find, you're limited to the magazines or the images you have as well. So it makes you be more creative as well. I love physical collage.
Yeah, and it's like I we used to do collages and like because I went to art school and then I went to fashion school. So like when I was in fashion school, we would do collages to like make basically mood boards for like the clothes that we wanted to draw, and that's kind of like how we started like our ideas. And so since then, I've always loved like doing collages because I love like going through magazines and like picking different pictures and then cutting them up and then putting them together. So that's always been fun. And my idea with these like little cards is like at some point I want to start like giving them away to like people that watch me like live on stream, because it's like if people are like subscribing to you, it's like I want to have like some kind of giveaways, and I feel like that would be something small but at the same time kind of cool to like send
Yeah,
out to
100%.
people.
I love it. I love it. Guys, I'm so sorry I need to go because my dog
Okay.
needs to walk right now. And it was an amazing hour and a half. Like, guys, really, Trev, nice to meet you. And I
Nice.
hope we'll continue, yeah, be friends. And that's awesome. Also, I really love your art. I think you need to continue with that. Just to
Oh,
me.
thank you so
Oh, thank you so much.
See you guys. Bye.
Okay, bye, Ira. I'm sorry, Trev. Like, and I'm gonna let you go too. Like, we can end our stream, but it was like so much. It was so much fun talking to you.
You too. You too. Sorry.
Cough it out. I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm sorry.
I'm
But
getting
yeah,
choked up because you have to leave now. I'm just getting very emotional. It's been a tough 2 hours. I'm just
you're
very
gonna.
sad. Please, Bikini Ball and Blood Babes. Mallow.art. Please buy it. Help me buy some medication. Uh, Sorry.
But yeah,
I've really
no, you're
enjoyed it.
good. You're
Thank
good.
you. Thank you. It's I know we were supposed to do this a week or two ago, but I'm really glad we
Nah,
got to
that's
do it
okay.
today, Friday the
Mhm.
13th. Um,
That's okay.
and I'd love to do it again. Don't be a
Oh yeah,
stranger.
I was going to say we should like talk more because I feel like we have a really good conversations and like very good like ideas to like discuss, and I don't know, it was just so much fun talking to you, and I could keep talking to you for like a long time. So you have to come back like on
Yeah,
Fridays because we do this, and I know like usually Fridays for people like they have plans like they go out, but if you ever want to come on Friday, or even like we could do some
I don't
streams
have
on
plans on
Blaze.
Friday. I'm an artist. I'm like a social reject. I sit at home and draw on Friday nights. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So I'm always around. Don't worry. I'm not
Okay,
that
well
cool.
that's cool. Well, you can
I sit in my
like
studios drinking Guinness on a Friday night. That's what I do.
yeah, it's like it's fun. But yeah, I was gonna say you should come more often. You should come hang out on stream more often with us, and we'd love to have you. And
If
maybe
you
next
have
time
me,
we're gonna have
I'll be
Sins.
here. Yeah, where is that little fecker? I'm gonna get onto
I
him now
told
and
him
tell him
to join, but he just I don't know. He's doing other stuff. He's busy.
he's avoiding me. I'm gonna catch up with him. I'm gonna send him lots of voice notes and just yeah, lots of explicit voice notes. But I do really
Yeah.
appreciate it. It's been fun, and I've enjoyed the chat. And it's not often that I just get to babble on about art, and so I really appreciate you taking the time as well because I've had a lot of fun.
I'm so glad that you had fun.
I
Okay.
enjoyed
And
it. Yeah.
now, yeah, I'll end it here. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for checking out Trev's art. Don't forget if you need the links. There's a QR code for his Twitter page, and I'm gonna share the Mallow page to the VHS tapes on my X so you guys can see it. Go check it out. I'm gonna end this stream now. Bye, everyone.
Bye.